Thank you for joining us today. This is the Digital Marketing Hour, but today we're going 90 minutes because there's a lot to cover. Lani is going to present to you today 25 plus low to no cost digital marketing tools for you. This is the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center. We're a nonprofit organization and we provide confidential, no-cost advisory and training services to small businesses. And the reason it's no cost is because your tax dollars are paying for this service. So do take advantage of it. We're funded by the SBA and the Humboldt State Sponsored Programs Foundation. And we have a number of advisors here. Lani's presenting this webinar, but look at all these advisors. We even have more than this. These are the various advisors that cover different topics, and we support Shasta and Trinity counties in far northern California. And like it says below, there are 40 additional subject matter experts. At the end of this presentation, Lani's going to talk more about how you can meet with one of these advisors on today's topic or maybe a different one. I'll start off with our disclaimer. The information provided in this webinar and any supplementary materials provided to registrants are intended for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute professional, financial, or legal advice. No registrant should act or fail to act on the basis of any material contained in this webinar without obtaining proper financial, legal, and other professional advice specific to their situation. The Northern California Small Business Development Center and its host, the HSU Sponsored Programs Foundation, specifically disclaims any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence, directly or indirectly, of the use and application of any of the information presented in this webinar. And now I would like to introduce you to Lani Lott. Lani.
Thank you, Linda, and welcome everybody. I'm so excited to be able to be with you today and present about these 25 plus low to no cost marketing tools, digital marketing tools. Now, this is me, and that's my sidekick, Charlie. I like to introduce him along with myself because you might hear him chime in during the presentation, although the postman has already left, so he may not have to bark so loud today. I'm the president of LL Consulting. That's my woman-owned business. And I have over 25 years of providing consulting services and technical assistance in the areas of economic development, downtown revitalization, and business advising. I've worked for over 20 years with various small business development centers across California. And I love what I do. I love working with small businesses and sharing and assisting them start, grow, and thrive. I cover all areas, most all areas. I'm not real good with QuickBooks, but all areas of small business management and marketing, business planning, startups, succession planning. And today it's all about digital marketing. So I am going to go ahead and move to the agenda. I'm going to stop my camera because I talk a lot with my hands and it gets distracting. So we're just going to be covering the tip of the iceberg today. Because when I put this webinar together, the first time I put it together was an hour and there was a lot of information to cover. And so today we made it an extra half an hour because at the end of the session, or the webinar, about the last 20 minutes, I've allowed enough time that we can join, you can join and share any tools, digital marketing tools that you found that you really like and you want to share with the other attendees, or you have a specific question about one of the ones that I shared, or any feedback. So we will have time at the end of the presentation. I don't have any breaks in between because this is pretty robust and I want to get through all of the content that I put together for you, because I have researched and vetted all of these and all of the links to the various tools that I'm going to share today are in the PowerPoint presentation. And you will be getting a copy of this PowerPoint presentation along with the webinar, the recording of the webinar. So watch for that. So you don't have to write down every single thing I say. There's quite a bit of information in each slide. So know that you'll have that as a reference point. So I'm going to start off with talking about the benefits of using digital marketing tools, which most of us, if we're doing any kind of digital marketing, we know that those type of extra online tools are really helpful in helping us either create content, manage our social media platforms or our digital marketing, reaching our customers, all kinds of different reasons. I do not dive deep into apps. There are so many specific apps out there, or applications, that you may be using on your mobile that are not going to be included today. Because this is, I went from more of the desktop background, this is more of the tools that have links directly, so it makes it easier for to work from your desktop. However, I will tell you that all of them probably have apps with them. And I know there's a lot of apps out there for industry specific. For example, if you are in wellness and fitness, or you're a, teach Pilates or yoga, Mind and Soul, there's one that's specific to it. I had it this morning and now it just left my brain. Oh, well. Anyways, there are apps out there that are specific to your industry that help you schedule, help you manage your database, your customers, your clients. And so we're not going to cover these. These are pretty much general. The 25 plus low to no cost marketing tools. So let's just jump in and get right going. So why are the reasons to consider using digital marketing? Well, prior to the pandemic, maybe we were really involved in and using all of our digital platforms, whether it was social media, whether it was Zoom, whether it was, your emails, your website on Ecommerce. You had a shop. Prior to that pandemic, a lot of our smaller businesses, me, myself included, I had not done a webinar. I knew nothing about Zoom. And almost overnight, I had to start using digital to be able to deliver our workshops, which we had done with the SBDC mostly in person, right? So suddenly now here I'm in the digital world, and there's a lot out there. So the platform we use for the SBDC for really delivering what was once face-to-face workshops is the Zoom platform. So, immediately I had to pivot. And most businesses, majority of you out there, also pivoting in all different ways, using digital marketing to communicate with your staff, communicate with your vendors, communicate with your customers, customer service. Suddenly we were, maybe we were still picking up the phone because we could still do that. But in a lot of times we were using customer service with direct messaging from our social media platforms or our chat boxes that are on our websites to really address questions, answer and provide answers about different products and services where we open. So customer service really is one of the areas that has grown over the last month, year and a half since the pandemic. And as we're rolling out from post-pandemic and we're starting to slowly reopen, we're starting to have in-person meetings, whether we're doing face-to-face selling or we're bringing back our staff at an office space, or our organizations are starting to hold events again. We're still going to rely a lot on digital marketing to communicate and provide customer service. Digital marketing tools are huge for enhancing visual content. Yes, when you are using digital marketing specifically for your marketing and promotion efforts, visual, it's all about visual, right? Helping carry forward your message, the type of experience you want to communicate in that visual content, your personality, your business brand. Much like when we do print advertising, kind of trying to communicate in the digital world your brand, your business, and engaging and really capturing attention, whether it's for brand awareness or driving folks to your e-commerce site or selling your products and services digitally. So enhancing that visual content there's a lot of free services out there to help with that visual content, keeping your team engaged. You know, we have at the SBDC, our team of consultants or advisors that you saw, we have a bi-monthly team meeting, and we do it during Zoom, and we're in real time, right? We see each other, we can talk. So prior to the pandemic, many businesses were using digital marketing tools or digital tools to really keep their team engaged, whether it was a team across the United States because you had several franchises, or you had your office was located in another state and you had to engage with your team. Tools that help, and this is where it gets real specific for certain industries or certain businesses, especially if you're a larger business. Companies have invested in special team type of software or apps. But for me, I also substitute teach sometimes, and reaching the students, we had several different options to get our teams engaged. We had Microsoft Teams, we had Zoom, we had Google Teams, and so there are, I guess it's meetups. And so when I would go to a school, suddenly I'd have to figure out which of those three they were using to engage the team and the students. It assists with market research. Oh my gosh, if you're like me, back in the day, we'd have to go to the library and we'd have to look up look for the magazine or look for the book that had all the listing of references in it. And we'd have to sit there and read it, or use the computer at the library because, we didn't have one, and we didn't have Google. We didn't have the internet. So thank goodness for, so much of what's at our fingertips. Now, with that said, when we're doing market research, we always want to make sure that our facts are relevant, they're accurate, and they're correct, right? Because there can be some stuff out there that is maybe not so correct. So really, digital marketing tools or digital tools have really helped expand our market research and strengthen, whether we're looking at expanding a business, or we're trying to find new customer bases, or we're just wanting to see where the growth is in an industry. Market research is huge via the internet. Digital marketing tools, digital tools help manage our social media platforms. If you are like many small businesses, you may have 5 or 6 or 7 different social media platforms, and keeping them all in sync can be very difficult, especially if you're a smaller company and you don't have a deep staff like maybe one of the big chains or one of the big national companies do, and they can hire 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 social media specialists. So those platforms to help keep and schedule out. Then of course, staying organized, and then finally supporting prospecting leads in the sales funnel. LinkedIn probably really expanded when the pandemic hit, because of all of the leads and the business to business networking that LinkedIn has provided as a digital tool over the years, but specifically during the pandemic, when we weren't able to attend those networking opportunities, those conferences, whether they were large national conferences or small little smaller breakout type of forums. And I'm going to be doing a webinar next month for another agency. It's about returning face-to-face, right? And when I was doing some market research, conferences, small forums, meetings, workshops are going to come back, yes, face-to-face, but we're also going to see hybrids. So this whole digital world that we've experienced that may have been thrown upon us earlier than we were prepared for, but we've really had to, sink or swim or sink, is here to stay. Okay, so I'll get off my soapbox, and we'll go right into the first of many of the digital marketing tools that I have vetted. So the first ones, and these are kind of broken down. When you get your PowerPoint back, you'll see this is for marketing tools that are really about industry research. And maybe you've used these, maybe you haven't. I have not used all of these. I'll just be really honest. But I wanted to give you kind of, when I thought about what would people that attended this type of workshop want to know. You're going to want to know a couple about a lot. So that's kind of what I've done, is kind of divided them up into categories and just giving you one or two or three, just giving you a little taste. And as I go through these, if there's one that you'd like to add to the group at the end, just jot it down and we can put it in the chat and then we'll compile them. So the first one is I'm going to talk about is Data Scrape. And this is free with upgrade options. Now, they were free the last time I checked them, which was last month. So just be prepared that things change quite quickly, and maybe they've changed their fee schedule. Maybe some things are still free, maybe they're not. But as of last month, this is what was relevant. It is a free Chrome extension that allows you to download any form of data from a website in HTML. It extracts the data out of HTML web pages and imports it into a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. For example, you can extract names and phone numbers from an online directory. Just define your filters, then download the spreadsheet. You get 500 pages per month with Data Scraper's free tool. Okay. Enough for small to medium-sized markets. If you want more, the pricier plans range from $20 to $200 a month. So if you're looking at really wanting to learn more about what's out there in your industry, who maybe some of your competitors are across the nation or in a local area, this would be something you might want to consider. Think with Google. Okay, so we have the Chrome extension. Now we're going to talk about Google. So think with Google, and Google has a lot of tools, and a lot of them are free, and a lot do a lot and a lot do a little. So again, this is a tool to help you see exactly what your audience is searching for online. It shows you what searches are trending, offers audience insights and information about the brands and products your people are looking for in a specific category. You can explore real-time data to glean insights about consumer research, shopping, and purchase behaviors. And it can help you then make more strategic decisions about your marketing campaigns and ad spending. Now, if you're like me, maybe you're not, maybe you're more of a geek than I am, but I, go into my analytics that I have access to, whether it's my website, my email marketing program, my Facebook, my Twitter. Today I did a Twitter workshop or webinar earlier. I'm not a big Twitter, so my insights were really easy to read. It said 000. So if you go in and you start to look at these areas and you get confused, that's okay. That's what we're here for as an SBDC, is to help you kind of navigate and say, okay, I pulled all this, research down. Now, what does it mean to me? What do my analytics mean? Am I doing well? Am I not doing well? And we can assist with that, but you've got to start, because you know your business better than anyone, to start to kind of look at and do some market research to say, okay, where, what products and services do I want to offer, or do I want to add to my already goods and services that are trending, that I know I can incorporate into my business model, and this will be a place to go. So these are two free. Now we're going to move to keyword search and SEO. SEO is a great term that's thrown around a lot. And what does it really mean? Search engine optimization, which is really a short way of saying you're going to come up in the Google search. You're going to pop up, as number one, number two. Where are you in that Google search? And we have a couple advisors that specialize in SEO and can help you look at all of your content, whether you're blogging, whether it's your website text, whether it's how you're putting out some of your social media content, to see if you're really using certain, your keywords in the right way to really bump up your SEO. I always recommend, as the first place to see how you're doing as a business, is search yourself. Put your own business in Google and see where you pop up. Hopefully you're on Google My Business, because that will be one of the first areas that pops up, because Google's a powerful, very powerful SEO search engine. So Google Keyword Planner, this is free. It's a great tool for beginners. I'm raising my hand. Offers basic volume and competition data. Keyword Planner will show you the range of average monthly searches and the competition level for the keywords you enter. Plus, it'll suggest relevant keywords to explore. So there is the link through the ads.google, google.com, and it will really help you kind of, see what keywords, and then you can put keywords that maybe you are thinking about, or you want to put in your blog, or you have put in your blog, and see how competitive they are. Moz is free with upgrade option. This is the tool to monitor your site, check keywords, do keyword search, and or check your site's domain authority. A free version of the tool allows for 10 keyword queries a month, only 10. Then you can upgrade your plan as you need to. $79 a month if paid annually, which allows 150 search queries. So, if this is something you're really wanting, you're wanting to see how your website's doing, or you're adding new products and services, or you just want to see if your blogs are really having an impact, here's an area. SEMrush. Now, I attended with a colleague, I was on a panel, and she was a SEMrush specialist, and because she does a lot of Google Ads, the colleague that I was on with, an SBDC advisor down in Central California. And this is an all-in-one marketing tool to be able to not only do your keyword search, but also help you track how your site's doing, whether that's by tracking keyword positions, site analysis, or backlinks. You can use SEMrush to also review organic search rankings for your keywords and see what competitors have done. So the way she said she uses SEMrush when she is working with clients that are trying to do Google Ads, or putting a Google ad campaign together, is that she uses it and has found it a valuable tool, pretty affordable, to see what your competitors' keywords are, and then you put those keywords in your content or your ad, right? So that you're not inventing the wheel, and then you're kind of playing with the big boys. So now we're going to move to content design. And this may be an area where some of you have already had a lot of experience. I have to manage several in my own, not under the SBDC umbrella, but under my my LL Consulting umbrella. I have contracts with a couple organizations that I'm in charge of their social media. And so, content, pulling content out of a client sometimes is hard. So, we wanting to post 3 times a week. And sometimes I have to find pictures or some kind of, infographics or something to be able to be relevant to keep that content pipeline full. And so these are some areas that we look at. The first one is Canva, and it's free. I find it a little difficult to use, but I have used it. I used it for creating my own YouTube channel. Excuse me, my own LinkedIn profile cover. That cover banner that goes across on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. And, it's hard to find those very vertical or horizontal pictures. And so I created one using Canva, and it's a web-based design tool. You can use it to create unique images, share on your blog, social network, and beyond. You can do it from scratch or to polish up some photos that you already have on hand. And so this over here on the right-hand side, that's what it looks like. It puts it under different categories. And then you click on that category and it gives you examples, gives you images, you can save it. We used it for an organization that was trying to brand a campaign, a 6-month campaign that was a fundraiser, very specific. It wasn't our overall logo, but it was a specific brand for a specific program, event, or activity, right? And we used their infographic. We created an infographic. One that I use a lot is Upsplash, and it is free. There's over 1 million free high-resolution images brought to you by the most generous community of photographers, a really high level, and they're pretty big. And you can give recognition to the photographer that's built right into that an option, or you don't have to. So they already have copyright freedom, so you can use it with giving recognition or not. This little up down here on the bottom, that is a mountain scene. That's pretty generic. I used it for one of my clients that needed a banner for their YouTube channel, and this is what we found that would work. So you can, I sometimes pull it down for, like I did for Memorial Day, just wanted an image. I wanted a really quality photo. I lend myself towards photos more than I do, emojis or infographics and those, kind of things, because I'm married to a photographer. So, I like photography. So I use that a lot in my content, in my social media, and Upsplash is great. You just have to they come in different formats. So there's square, or there's longer ones for, that work well on a cover banner. Just make sure that, if you're talking about a certain area, that it's kind of relative to the area. I was doing some on small business shopping, and there was some little shops there, and they weren't really, relevant. They were more like over in overseas somewhere. So you have to just be careful about that. Pixabay is another one that has high quality stock images and videos, 1.8 million plus. So check that site out. And then one that I think is really, really great is the Noun Project, and it's free. But you have to give credit. And it has 1 million icons available for download, and you can even use them in Google Docs and slides. So they, have lots of great things that you can really fine tune your PowerPoint presentations. Okay, continuing on to content design, PicMonkey, free trial. Or it's $8 a month, easy to use editing and design toolkit for editing stunning visuals quickly. You can edit your photos and design with video, create stylish graphic designs. So this is the link to the desktop. Like I said before, if you're a big use and you do a lot of your editing and pushing out through your social media platforms via your mobile device, I'm sure they have an app that you download, and it makes it easier that way. So this is a great site for that. And then Filmergo, free with upgrade options, easily one of the best high quality video editing phone apps. So this is a phone app. It allows you to quickly trim a video clip, create subtitles and text, speed up the content, add filters and overlays. And it's available both as iOS and Android. Now, I'm not saying that these digital tools are, easy or take no time, like anything. There's a little learning curve. But if you are, or you have a team member that's assisting and you're doing a lot of videoing and you really want to add that special splash to it that maybe your Instagram filters don't allow, or stickers, or you really want to add subtitles, and you really are working towards a much more professional looking video or image, then you are going to want to consider some of these added on tools that are available to you. We're still on content. There was a lot out there, and I'm sure some of you have some others that you want to add to the list. This is Magisto, I think is how you say it, is an excellent tool if your content goal is make videos for social media. It's specifically designed for social media platforms, and it offers an official, and it is an official partner of both Facebook and Instagram, because they're owned by the same company, right? And YouTube. So it will automatically edit your video based on your selected style and soundtrack. It provides selection of video templates to choose from. So this might be one that you might want to consider, especially if you're the video, if you're doing a lot of videos and you're doing a lot of stories and your videos are sitting on your website and you want them to look as professional as they can, because it's an, part of your brand awareness, your brand and imaging. So you might want to check that out. The Canvas photo editor is free. Photo editor Canvas with 90 plus edits, 90 plus effects and settings. Just upload the photo, edit it, and save it to your computer. Now, see, I'm kind of lazy, so I always just use Upsplash because it's already high quality and I'm not doing a lot of editing. I'm not adding a lot of bells and whistles, but that's me. I'm just pretty basic. But for the most part, if you want to stand out and add some sizzle to your content and really create those effects, and that's part of your personality, of your online presence, then you're going to want to kind of consider that tool. And then Vizlo is free with limited features, and in the basic start for about $11 a month. Creates high quality charts, infographics, and business visualizations for free in seconds. So if you're more of that type of business and you don't need entertaining content, but you need more presentations that are polished, have a little bit extra oomph, you'd like to do infographics because they're becoming very popular. We can put a lot of data, a lot of survey responses, a lot of information in one take-home page, right? One infographic, then that sits as a blog, sits on as a download on your website, be pushed out through your social media. Then you might want to consider this tool. Okay, now we're moving into videos and images specific. Moment. This is a marketplace for photographers and filmmakers. I was turned on to this one by a presentation that was put on by a source out here in Arizona. And they were talking about this, that not only are there lots of tools, but there's a lot of accessories. So maybe marketing tools are more of those accessories you need for, your camera, a lot of different lens for your mobile device, or a easel, or a tripod. And they offer some of the cutting edge tools, as well as a place where there's like a marketplace. They also vet a lot of the apps, a lot of the type of what's the best of the best in the market. And so you can see right here, this is what I put here. And this is a link, and it's called the Marketplace for Creatives. Don't miss out, $500 to the @moment shop, post your new image with the hashtag. So they're actually, camera gear. So check it out. If you are doing any video, film, or photography, and you are, pushing it out through all of your digital marketing platforms, then check this out. There might be some great tips in there. A tutorial might be even in there for you. Snapseed is free, another photo editing application developed by Google to enhance photos and apply digital filters. Then there's Lightroom, a free trial with $9.99 a month. And with the trials, there are those 14-day trials, or 30-day trials. As long as you remember to unsubscribe or cancel the trial, you won't be charged. But, again, just look at it, look at their website, look at their reviews, see if it's going to be right for you. The last thing we want to do is, sign up for some things, forget you didn't, cancel the trial after it was over with, and all of a sudden then you're dipping into your marketing budget because you've got these subscriptions and you haven't used them to their fullest effective use yet. From Adobe, Lightroom is from Adobe, and it gives you a powerful yet simple solution for capturing, editing, and sharing your photos. So it's an Adobe product. We have a Google product, we have a Chrome extensions, now it's Adobe. So if you are really doing a lot of photos and you're taking your own photos, whether it's through your mobile device and you want to enhance them, then you were probably using some of Adobe products. And then Adobe Spark is free, and it's online and mobile graphic design app. So this is an app. Okay, now we're into content planning. And so content planning or management, I don't know what you want to call it, but Google Drive. So it's free. It's a Google product. You can collaborate on documents in real time, organize content plans, keep track of content performance data. You must have a Gmail account, just like if you're going to do YouTube or Google Calendar. Google Drive, you have to have a Google account. Now, I use Drive because I'm often uploading large documents that maybe I don't want to have editors come in and change. I want to just get them to my client in a manner that they can then download them themselves, because I can't email them directly, right? Some of us use Dropbox, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And I have found Google Drive, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty spectacular. Because not only does it help you share documents, large documents, but then it does offer that collaboration. Oh, do I have a question? Okay. So Google, you want to mute yourself out there? So do we hear that, Linda? Thank you.
It should be fixed now, Lani.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I have 25 folks on here, so I didn't know which one, but thank you, Linda, for that. Okay, so Google Drive, and I'm sure most of you have used it, and you can, I've used it with planning in terms of, an Excel for a conference, and I was in charge of all the 150 sponsors, and there was 2 of us, so we were all continuously adding and, to it and stuff. So it does help collaborate with that, as well as it helps kind of organize and keep documents there for down the road, especially if you're a business and you are helping the same client over a period of time. You can put all of those files into one Google folder, and then you can access them through through the year and through the years, and have all their documents in one place. So it's an internal management document as well as a collaboration tool. Trolla is free. It's a project management tool that makes it easy to plan content by dragging tasks between columns. You can create unlimited project boards with a free account. I have not used it, so but because I'm usually, if I'm collaborating I'm finding that my clients are gravitating towards Google Drive, or I've used Dropbox. Used Dropbox for a couple of websites that they didn't have access for PDFs on it for some odd reason, and we put them into the Dropbox. Then people could, link and download it from the Dropbox. And I've used it to share large documents also. It's a cloud sharing service, free for the first 2 gigs, and then if you put a lot up there, they start, wanting to upsell you. So just be aware of that. They're safely encrypted, so you don't have to be concerned about data being stolen either. So curating content. We're always trying to find, great content to share, to strengthen our business, share about our industry, keep our audiences, keep our followers, fans, friends, whatever you want to call them, really keep them engaged, right? And organic content is by far the best. Organic content is content you create, basically scratch. Now you could use Canva to help you with some of the design and colors and effects, or, Upsplash to kind of create that photo. But, organic content is always the highest on the list, but it can be very time consuming, and we may run out of ideas. And I know that over this last year and a half, with some of our businesses closed, we weren't really bringing in new products. We really didn't have a lot to share with our Instagram because we weren't out in the field taking pictures. That's slowly changing. But so here are a few sites that you can use content. You can curate content and share it, right? So Scoop It, an awesome tool for easily finding and sharing unique, relevant content to your social networks, blogs, and more. And the thing about sharing or using, content that's curated for you is sometimes, it takes a little practice. You don't want to do a lot of it because it starts to look like a cookie cutter. People really are, the algorithm of social media now is about engaging your audience, people who are engaged, sharing, liking, commenting. And if it looks kind of like you do too much of a curated type of content, it's going to look like a cookie cutter, and people are going to start, it's just going to, blaze right over them. So you really kind of want to remember that, keeping it personalized, mixing it up with video, with photos, with polls, with testimonials, with videos from some of your customers. So you kind of want to think about how you drop in this curated content in between creating your organic content. And I personally look at holidays as a place where I will drop in maybe some curated content around Valentine's Day, or something around, Thanksgiving, or the season. Maybe I'll do a post and it's curated from about the fall season, and it's not really relevant to my business, but it's like celebrating, oh, fall is here, look at the leaves, and that kind of stuff. Feedly starts at $6 a month. You can choose from all different kinds of blogs, publications, and topics that you're interested in, and the platform aggregates all of the recent content for those sites into a feed you can monitor. So it really helps you kind of like, okay, who's talking about what out there? And this is really great too for market research, because a lot of these blogs, a lot of these publications, these white papers, these forums, research forums, research white papers, publications, they really are helping with market research, helping you stay ahead of the trends. Right now I'm working with a client, and they're writing a grant on the impact of food production and what was the pandemic's impact on farmers markets, right? Really specific. And so we pulled down some content, and I've kind of put it through Feedly just to get what is they talking out there at a national level, a state level, a regional level, and then maybe even a local level. And then Google Alerts. Everybody needs to have Google Alerts. You should have Google Alerts set up. So this is free. It's another one of those wonderful Google tools that is free, and it gets you emails with new results for a topic you choose on Google search. For example, you can get info about news, products, or mentions of your own name. For me, one of my clients, I put in there Arizona state parks, because one of my agencies that I work for contract were really focused on state parks and trails. And so anything that state parks has in any of the news feeds pops up, and sometimes it's relevant and sometimes it's not. But then I'm able to share that, whether it was an article from a local publication or from a national publication, or it's something that is, and I look at that and I say, okay, this is great information, keeps my audience educated, up to speed on what's happening with any trends in the market. So think about your industry, think about your business. What would you want to maybe have pop up in your Google search that is relevant to something that you might want to share with your audience, right? Maybe your competitors, I don't know. So over here it shows you kind of the preview here of, I think this one is on the Feedly. So this kind of just shows you the alert preview. Okay, social media management. TweetDeck, this is free, comes with Twitter. You can manage multiple Twitter accounts, scheduling your tweets, track mentions, and hashtags. So if you're a big Twitter user and you have several Twitter accounts, you've got your own, you've got your business, you've got your maybe you're volunteer for Little League, so you've got that one, and you're tweeting out about different causes that you believe in. And so this helps you manage it, and it is a free service. I'm finding that the social media sites like Twitter, like Facebook, like YouTube have some kind of management suite now. Business suite is what they call in Facebook, and you can put all, go there and you can have all of your accounts at one place. So TweetDeck is for Twitter, and this is a picture of it, of what it looks like. So you can see across, this is my account, and then across of it are my notifications, my messages, and what's trending relevant to who I'm following, what hashtags I've explored. Oops, sorry about that. I guess Charlie decided to wake up. And so this is a free one. Now, the one that we use quite a bit, a lot of larger businesses use, especially if they have 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different type of social media platforms, and they're pushing out all kinds of content, but they want to schedule it and they want to make sure it's appropriate for each of the different channels, that it's sized right, is Hootsuite. And there is a free trial. The basic starts at $29 a month. You can manage your social networks, schedule messages, engage your audience, and measure your ROI right across the dashboard, right? Right below here is the Hootsuite. This is a screenshot of the Hootsuite dashboard. You have your platforms, the different features, your networks, and then talks about what else you can look up under those individual platforms. And then Buffer, it starts at $15 a month, allows you to schedule social media posts across a variety of popular social networks. So a lot of my clients that are using different social media platforms and have been using them for a few years, and find that they've navigated to 4 or 5 of them that really work for their business. It's always a choice between Hootsuite or Buffer. I think it's just a personal preference. Customer service. Now, the digital marketing tools have become really popular, like I mentioned in the very beginning, during the pandemic. I don't know about you, but it's really hard to get a live person on a phone these days. So, the chat boxes that always pop up when you're having problems with your internet or your cell phone or whatever it is, well, they're not going away. They're actually becoming much more popular, with real people on the back end addressing issues that you type in. Like if your phone, let's say your internet's down in the morning and you go on there and find out what's going on, and that box pops up, and you start chatting and they fix the issue right away. So customer service, these are what we're talking about. So live chat, which is like right down here. This is a business in the Central Valley. It's a furniture business that actually incorporated live chat into their website. The passive chat box that lives on your page lets your potential customers reach out to some of your service reps, helping you effectively answer questions. Now, I know a lot of us use the direct messaging features that are available on most of the social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and those are great too. As long as you're monitoring them, right? Anything that is of customer service, whether you open that up and you say, contact us, they don't want to wait 2 or 3 weeks. When a customer has an issue or a question, they want immediate answers. especially if there's no phone number on that site. That just is so frustrating. And you know, I'm of a more seasoned demographic. So, you know, we're used to picking up the phones and having a live person, or even better, walking down to the shop that we love and having a live person help us. So this is an area that you want to make sure on the internal side that if you're going to add that chat box, that you're monitoring it, right? So just a easy fix is just, even if you're not using a chat box, but you're using all the direct messaging features, make sure your notifications are turned on and that you are monitoring that. And it gets hard because we get really busy as small businesses. We may be, you know, training our staff as they're coming back. We may be trying to create and update our website. We may be writing our blog. Then we have those 4 social media platforms out there and you haven't checked them for a few days. And oh my gosh, you know, you forgot you had a promotion that you were pushing out. So there's a lot of moving parts, right? And if you don't have deep staff, or you're bringing staff slowly back, it can be like kind of keeping all the balls up in the air. So just, you know, be aware of that. Zendesk is another one. This is a free trial and the plans vary. Provides a full suite of tools that can get your support team up and responding to all of your customer needs. The platform aggregates all of your communication channels into one place, which makes it simple to respond to your emails, phone numbers, and chats. So if you have, you know, you have quite a few salespeople and or customer service reps, and we know that a lot of businesses have grown that area of their business over the last 1.5 years, then you maybe want to look at one of these tools. Or maybe you found another one that works specific for your industry or is built in within your website. E-commerce, have to throw this one in. I'm going to get a drink of water, just one sip. Okay, so pivoting, many of our retailers, many of our restaurants, a lot of our businesses that sell merchandise really pivoted greatly during the pandemic and launched e-commerce sites. So Spotify is one of the more popular ones. Now, as an SBDC, I'm not endorsing one over the other. This is all informational. Check them out. You may have found another one you like better. These were just some of the top 3 that I put on here. I noticed the other day that I use MailChimp for my email marketing program, and I'll talk about that in a second. But they have a shop now. So even, you know, and I think Constant Contact probably does too. So some of the email marketing sites are finding out that, you know, commerce sites integrated with their email marketing is like, a no-brainer. So Spotify, we have a great webinar on Spotify done by one of our fabulous SBDC advisors. And here is the YouTube. We have a YouTube channel.
Lani?
Yes.
You're saying Spotify, but it says Shopify.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shopify. Yes. Not Spotify. That's the music. Shopify. Thank you, Linda. I'm just on a roll here. Linda keeps me honest. So Shopify is the shopping e-commerce site that many businesses are using. And Shopify we do have a YouTube webinar on our YouTube channel. So you can go and watch that. And she walks you through the steps of how to, you know, incorporate that subscription into your website. And I'm sure if you are shopping online, oh, I'm sorry, guys. If you're shopping online, you're going to see some websites that, you know, Shopify is the web-based subscription they're using to support their cart and their e-commerce site. WooCommerce, these vary. It's customized open source e-commerce platform built on WordPress. So that is specific to WordPress. And then Squarespace, it has a basic commerce that starts at $26 a month. It's a well-known web site builder and has integrated e-commerce capabilities built in to all of its business plans. So if you're using, you know, I have a Squarespace, I use Squarespace for my own company website, but I don't have a store. But if I did have a shop, I could incorporate very easily the e-commerce. So some of those, the websites that are third-party websites have these e-commerce features built right in, and it's fairly easy. It takes time because remember, you have to have the product, you have to have the description, you've got to have the price, you've got to have the good photos. So it's all, you have to upload all the content. They just have the infrastructure. If you're a retailer and you haven't considered an e-commerce site or you haven't launched one yet, I would highly recommend you really move towards that as an added value for your business, because we're going to be seeing our consumer behavior has really changed since the pandemic. And most in bricks and mortar or storefronts, physical storefront businesses now do have an option. Many of them have an e-commerce option so that people can still shop, whether they're located down the street from the storefront or all the way across the country. And you don't always have to put all your products and services up. Think about it in a phased manner. And we at the SBDC can help you with that strategic planning process. Email marketing. I'm a big component of email marketing as one of your digital marketing strategies. These are two of the more popular ones. There's a lot out there. Some are built, there's a lot that are built right into your website. And Constant Contact gives you a 60-day free trial, and it starts at about $20 a month, depending on how many emails you want to push out, what kind of features you want. The thing about having a third-party program such as Constant Contact or MailChimp to house your email audiences, your emails, is there's a lot of advantage to it. First of all, you can access it from anywhere, right? It's not sitting on your hard drive where it's only on your computer. You have like social media, you can put all of your emails into the account, and then you can create your email template, you can create your campaign, and then other folks that maybe are like you're part of your team, if you have a team member that is part of wanting to, you've hired them and they're going to be putting out a monthly e-newsletter, they can access it from their office or access it from their computer. They don't have to, it's not sitting on your hard drive. So it really gives you that opportunity to have that sitting there. And then also you can segment them. So if you are a business and you're doing a special promotion and you have folks come in and they sign up for that promotion, then those emails can say this was for the summer of 2021 promotion, or this was the festival or the conference that I attended as a vendor and fall of 2021 in Las Vegas. And all of those emails that you put in then can be segmented right into that specific category. And then you can send it out to them just at, when you want to contact them. They don't have to get every single email you send out. MailChimp is the other one, offers a free subscription with limited features. So you want to remember that it's limited. But then the basic plan starts at $9.90 a month. And again, it comes with an easy drag and drop email builder, auto response, contacts, segmenting contacts into groups, analytics, integrated MailChimp with WordPress and Shopify and other platforms. And then down here is YouTube that our advisors, one of our advisors, Zach, did on kind of talking about the pros and cons of 3 different types of email marketing programs. So if you want to, go in there and find out some pros and cons, what are the strengths of some, what are the weaknesses of others, he does a great job on this webinar talking about that. Okay, these are just some miscellaneous ones that I'm going to wrap up here pretty quickly. WooBox, free level, basic plan starts at $32 a month. This helps you create some powerful contests, sweepstakes, coupons, and more to grow your fans and amplify your marketing. So I'm always, get that question, well, how do I create a contest or a sweepstake on my, social media or in my email marketing or on my website? Well, this might be a really great place to start looking at because they do it for you. That's what you're paying for, right? They help create some of the templates, some of the back end for your contest, your social media campaigns and contests. One of the recommendations that is really for Twitter too is Bitly, and that helps you kind of take those long links and manage them and harness the power of shortening them, sharing and managing and analyzing the links to your content. So you can create a specific Bitly link that people will link onto, and that would tell you how many people, how that content, if, for example, if you're doing an ad and you want to see if how many folks were really linking to that ad, this is one way you do it. In Twitter, you have limited characters, so you want to kind of maybe shorten that long link, and Bitly will help you with that. SurveyMonkey, I use this a lot. It's free with limited features. I think you can send out 10 questions, and then it starts at $32 a month. Create easy surveys, quizzes, and polls for your audience. Gather feedback via web link, email, mobile chat, social media. Your data stays in your SurveyMonkey account forever. So if you did a survey back in 2021, or excuse me, 2010, and you wanted to look at it and redo it again, it's there. I have used it because I do a lot of community outreach with cities and towns and urban planning teams, and we're always having to survey says. So if you're surveying and you need to get information from a town and there's 5,000 people, so you create the survey, you put the link on it, your client may send it out via their email marketing, their social media, and then people can link onto that link, and from the privacy of their homes, they can fill out the survey, right? You got to create the survey, make sure the questions are correct. Surveys are only as good as the questions you ask, so you always want to make sure they're not too long, but this is a great tool if you do a lot of survey work. YouTube Music, this is free. It's a royalty-free stock music library, and it's easily searchable using a large number of categories. So if you want to add music to some of your videos, this is the place to look, because it's right there, and it's free, and it's a Google tool. Sprout Social, I really like this. When I'm creating my presentations, I do a lot of market research to make sure that I'm up to speed on what's the latest and greatest in the topic I'm going to be presenting on, because I don't know everything, and things change so fast, and there's so many new social media platforms out there, and even the good old standbys always changing. So I found Sprout Social, which is free, really gives a lot of great tutorials. And this one I found was the Social Media Video Specs Guide. And this is the link, and this is what it is. And it gives you the specs for your videos that you may want to upload either onto your Facebook page or up to YouTube, and how to make sure those specs are correct for that specific platform, so that you don't go through all the work of doing it and then they don't work. And then Grammarly, I should use this a lot more than I do. It's a free application that will edit your content. You can write in the program, paste content into it. Some of the extensions help you edit your content, breaks down some grammar and spelling issues. It's much more powerful than just your spell check, right? And then Kajabi is a free trial. It is a little pricey, $119 a year. That's a one-time fee. And it's an all-in-one online platform that's specifically designed for creating, marketing, and selling digital products like online courses. So, if you know a lot of folks, some of my clients, some of my colleagues, we've all had to switch over into online courses. For us at the SBDC, with our funders, we get to offer it free. However, a lot of, for-profit businesses are wanting to sell what they know, and they're creating these great online courses. So this may be a place where you might want to look at selling some of yours. Teachable, create and sell online courses and coaching. It's another site. Udemy, its prices vary per course, and this is the largest selection of courses the world's. Choose from 150 online video courses with new editions published each and every month. This may be where you want to go look up some things and become more educated. Maybe you need a little refresher in something. Maybe you just want to see what's out there in terms of a certain type of skill set that you are wanting to maybe expand for yourself. So this could be both internally as well as externally. And then Skillshare, this has limited free classes. It's an online learning community with thousands of classes for creative and curious people. I have classes on illustration, design, freelancing, and more. So if you're, in that creative community and you are a creator and you're wanting to learn more about freelancing, there may be a free class there for you to take. And then before I open it up to any feedback, I wanted to give you a recommendation for a good old-fashioned book. I took a webinar back in March, early pandemic, and this was the one take home that I just was like, oh my gosh, I got to get this book. And it's How to Write Copy That Sells, the step-by-step system for more sales to more customers more often. So it is a book that was highly recommended from the presenter of the webinar, who is also a SBDC advisor. And it's available. I just kind of screenshot it here on AdBooks for you. And he recommended this book, and I totally agree with him. It is a book to have as a reference. Like, I don't know about you, but I have 4 or 5 books that I still, pull off the shelf and look at. And this is one that wasn't available in digital yet. So you have to buy the old-fashioned book, but it does help you how to write copy that sells. And so if you're looking at really saying, okay, I'm going through and I'm writing all this copy and nothing is selling, could help with, your Shopify, your e-commerce site. It can help with your content if you're in Sales Navigator and yours, LinkedIn. So all of that. So this would be one that I would recommend. That's kind of old-fashioned. Okay, Linda, I'm back. So great. I see I've got a couple of things in the chat. So I'm going to let you, okay, thank you, Linda. I'm going to let you go ahead and maybe if they want to write in the chat or open up their mic. I don't know how you want to manage 23 folks. So I thought I would
start
just
by letting people turn their microphone on and ask their question directly.
Okay, so what I'm looking at first of all is just kind of asking if you had one digital tool that you found most useful that wasn't listed or was listed, what might that be that you'd like to share? Do we have any takers?
I don't see anyone turning their microphone on. You are also welcome to type your question in the chat and I will read it to Lani.
Okay. Or do you have any questions or comments? I covered a lot of ground. Like I said in the beginning, there's so much out there. One thing I didn't really put in here, I was thinking about that I've used several times in the last month, is the doodle. When you're trying to, I have a board of directors that I have to help kind of manage, and there's 25 of them, and us trying to find a date that works for everybody. So instead of all these emails flying back and forth, I've used Doodle, D-O-O-D-L-E, and it's a free service. It comes with some kind of, advertisements on it, but you can, set up the dates and times and put it out, and then everybody responds. And I know we've used it here for our SBDC team a couple times too. So that is one that I think I'm going to add to this presentation. Trying to coordinate and, herd those cats.
And I put a note in the chat, Lani, letting people know that I'm going to send a link to our survey in just a few minutes, and they can click on that link. It'll open up in a separate window, and then they can fill out the survey after we're done, because here we are using one of those survey tools, just like you mentioned, Lani.
Yeah, I love it, right?
Because when you find out what your followers are asking about, you can really customize the service you're providing.
Right, right. So yeah, I see one of our attendees says that he's had a really good response from posting on LinkedIn, so that he is a business to business company, and LinkedIn is the king of business to business, right? So, you know, if that is the platform that you're using, then, you know, LinkedIn is one of the areas where you can actually, one of the platforms where you can actually share your PowerPoint presentation with. You can actually write an article. So you might want to look at a couple of those tools. If you're going to be writing an article, you know, make sure that your facts are checked. If you're going to do a presentation, maybe you want to look at one of the tool that I said you could add some infographics about it. You may want to create an infographic and share it on LinkedIn. I see a lot of that on LinkedIn. Okay.
Can you talk a little bit about when to use one product over another? Just a specific example I'll give to you is, there are times when people do something on Facebook and it would be more appropriate on LinkedIn. And there are times people do things on LinkedIn and someone will say, hey, this isn't Facebook.
Don't you love that? Yeah, that's a great question, Linda. I think we navigate towards what we're comfortable with, and we don't think about who is my audience, what is the purpose of, you know, Facebook, whether it's a business page or my personal profile or a group. So we kind of have to remember that when social media has kind of a purpose within your within your marketing toolbox. And this I find a lot with Facebook and Instagram, because you can link your Instagram to a Facebook page, right? But sometimes when we're doing Instagram and we post it right away from our phone, but then it links onto our Facebook page, it may not make sense. Maybe we need more content on Facebook versus, you know, in addition to the narrative or the picture, the image. Also hashtags, you know, a lot of times hashtag isn't as popular on Facebook as it is, or on LinkedIn as it is on Twitter. Or we don't want to have a whole long, you know, 30 hashtags that eat up a lot of our information on Facebook. So think about in LinkedIn, if you're using it as a personal profile, it's a, you know, professional business site. And then if you have a business LinkedIn, again, it's a professional site, versus Facebook page. Your page is about your business, right? And it is professional, but it also allows you to have a little bit more personality, because you're going out to a different customer base. You're reaching maybe some of your customers, or you're reaching a specific unknown customer base that isn't all professionals in the field like LinkedIn. So yeah, you just want to kind of think about that. And sometimes we just get so overwhelmed, like, oh, I just can't even think of something else. I'm just going to post something, and then I'm going to post it on LinkedIn, and we just do it. So hopefully that answers the question, Linda.
Yes, thanks.
Okay. Well, if we don't have anything else to share, there's nothing wrong with getting out of class early. So I'm just going to go to the last slide here. And if you want to talk about this, and then I can wrap it up at the end, that would be great.
Sure. So if you are in either Shasta or Trinity County, then that is a territory that we support here through our Shasta-Cascade SBDC. And if you are in one of those locations, you can reach out to Emily. Her email is provided here, as well as her phone number, and let her know that you would like to fill out a form to work with us. She interviews you and she connects you with the proper advisor to help take your business forward using the SBDC services. And the wonderful thing is that picture at the beginning of the presentation, there are many advisors. that are available through the SBDC, and Emily can make sure to match you to the person that's going to line up with the needs that you have at the moment. And at the, 3 months from now, she can attach you, connect you with a different person. So there's a lot of talent within our SBDC, and we assign you to the specialist that will move you forward. You may meet with that person 5 or 6 times over a period of time, and then meet with another advisor. So what's wonderful is your tax dollars have paid for this. So take advantage of this amazing service. And you'll see that we have Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube channels where you can find us. And I'm happy to say that YouTube channel is going to change soon. It's going to have a friendlier name on the end of Shasta SBDC. We're not quite there yet, but everything has been done to move us in that direction. Thank you, all of you who are following us on YouTube. And Lani, if you can be a little more specific with some examples of what people might want to do when Emily would assign them to you.
Oh, meet me. I would love it. I can cover most topics. Most of the time, to help them with their business planning process. They maybe are looking at launching their business. They've taken, Joe's class or watched the webinar, and so you want to start a business. Now they want to maybe develop a business plan to help chart out what kind of resources they're going to need, capital, who's their target market. So I help guide and provide recommendations of how to, conduct market research, how to start their business plan, be in a kind of review what they get, narrative they write. We don't do anything for you. We are not going to sit down and write your business plan. We are not going to write your content for your website. We are more offering advice and helping give you some resources of where to start, and then review and help keep you accountable. In the marketing arena, I will sit down and through Zoom, help you walk through your Facebook page, making sure it's built out, your LinkedIn profile, your Twitter, kind of help with that area. Talk about a content strategy. Again, provide resources for you to then look at, much of like what I shared today, kind of develop that roadmap of your content. And then for your website, if you're getting ready to launch a website or you want to assess it. So that's kind of how we work, is we're a resource, we're confidential, one-on-one advising, provide, tell you, oh, this sounds really good, or I would change this, or oh, wait a minute, let's really think about this, in a very private one-on-one environment. And we don't share any of our information that we talk with you about, any of that with anyone, except for we input it into a session through our our program. But I did see there was a question about, could I talk a little bit more about thinkwithgoogle.com? I haven't been on that site, Mel, to tell you truthfully, in a while. It's a pretty high level, so it's going to give you trends. I would go in there if you are wanting to say, what are millennials buying for furniture right now, or what is hot on e-commerce, or what travel trends. So it kind of looks at a very higher level of research that's gone on, and shopping and purchase behaviors. Who is buying certain type of products, or maybe who is purchasing warranties, like if you sell warranties for your you're selling large products and you have warranties, or you're a for service business and you want to know what are some behaviors of what kind of services is growing market. Is it pet grooming? Is it mobile pet grooming? Is it mobile this or that? So it's going to give you kind of from what Google kind of takes from all of their users out there, and they're going to look at some of that kind of high level trends, high level behaviors.
And Lani, I've noticed that some people might be they might be chatting to you directly. I do have one question, but the question you just asked, I did not have on my list. So here's a question I have. Which marketing tools are best for a one-person service related to business?
related. Okay, so read the question again.
Which marketing tools are best for a one-person service related to business? I think they mean they don't have a team of people to help them. They're on their own.
Okay.
Solopreneurs, as so many of us are.
Yeah. Oh gosh. It just so for business. So if they're a one-person shop and their primary target market are other businesses, I'm thinking that's what they mean. It depends on what you're wanting to do. I have found for myself, because I'm a one-person shop, right? So for me, over the years, I've really grown to embrace more digital tools because they're more available. So if I am working on a large report or putting together, I'm doing market research for a client and I have a lot of documents, I'm going to put those up into Google Drive, right? So I think Google Drive is something that you do want to have, and you do want to use that tool because you can then share it with your clients. I find that if I'm going to do a lot of survey work, if that's one of the areas you're going to be working with your businesses, that is, anything like SurveyMonkey is going to be key because it analyzes and creates these great reports for you and takes all of the data and puts it into a format that makes sense for the layperson. I would recommend, and you have a LinkedIn profile, absolutely need a LinkedIn profile, and you need to have one strong social media platform, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, that you're going to use regularly. And then you have to have a website. You have to have web presence. You own your website. You own that. And there's affordable ones out there like Squarespace, like Wix, like Woohoo. I mean, WordPress gets a little bit more complicated, but you got to have some kind of web presence that people can then, it's your landing page, and you drive everybody there to learn more about your business. You own that intel. You are renting space from LinkedIn. You are renting space from Facebook. And not that it happens very often, but they can take your site down. But your website that's your content, that's your real estate. You own it. You own that domain name. So those would be the areas that I would say you would probably want to explore.
And Lani, did you have other questions in your chat, Pearl?
I think I got them all. Let me look. Oh, yep, I think I got them all. Okay.
More on that last question was services related, such as mobile RV repair.
Okay.
So to customers, not to businesses.
Oh, say again.
So I'm going to read the whole thing together. It's which marketing tools are best for a one-person service-related business, and the service related to RV repair to customers, not to businesses.
Okay, so you're a mobile RV repair or you're an RV repair. So you're going to want to look at some kind of scheduling, way that you schedule. If you have Facebook or your website, you can build in that scheduling feature. That is huge for you. So that you can, and then you would probably want to use direct messaging with on your website or through your social media platform. If you're using Facebook, and that's an area that you're trying to grow because you're maybe have a certain trade area. So if you're in Reading area, your trade area could be 50 miles from, around that you offer free. You're going to go there for free and you have your free consultation. So you're going to want to think about that. LinkedIn, probably, because that's more business to business. So I wouldn't navigate over towards that. I would say more on making sure you're scheduling. You can have services put up on Facebook page. You can talk about your services that you offer. You can do some very targeted boosting and advertising on that platform. It's very affordable for a service-based business. But and then your website, because there's a lot of great websites out there. Now when you go to your business, go to your customer and you're mobile, then how are you going to use an iPad to input the information? Are you going to use it on your mobile device? Because really hauling your desktop around is not going to be as easy. So you'd want to think about that, whatever you're using interfaces easily with those two type of devices.
Another question, Lani. What is the difference between a landing page and a website? I keep hearing about how important a landing page is.
Okay, there's no difference. When we say a landing page, we're meaning that you're directing in all of your different marketing touch points, whether that's your social media, whether that's your email marketing, whether that's a print piece, a good old-fashioned nice print piece that maybe is digital online, because a lot of magazines and newspapers are online, that you are leading them all to one place, and that should be your website or your, and your landing page, if that's your home page. So we use that interchangeable. So your landing page is where you're leading everybody to make a decision about doing business with you. And that's typically your web or your web page. You don't have to have a whole bunch of pages on your website. You can start with one simple one, but you lead everybody to that to then take action, right?
And Lani, I actually think of a landing page as a special type of website page, where a landing page would be often where you're capturing information on someone if they come into your website and you want to get their email so you can communicate with them. So you'd send them to a landing page where you can capture more about them, where your website might have 50 different pages in it, and one of which is your landing page.
Yeah, I was just simplifying it so that it doesn't overwhelming the person, is just thinking about starting out.
Sure.
Yeah, and typically, it's where your email marketing subscription pop-up is, or it may be your e-commerce page. You want that to be your landing page. Your home page, your contact page, your scheduling page. Yeah, it can be any of the pages that you have. But in the beginning, it is your website that you want to lead them to.
That covers the questions I have, Lani. Anything new on your end?
No, I love this. I love that we had so many people and such great questions. And I hope I created some interest at the tip of the iceberg here with some of the things that I shared. And I just encourage everyone to go out and look at these and continue to grow and thrive and enjoy June, right? We're in June already.
Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. If you are in Shasta or Trinity County, you are in the right place to get support directly. Notice on this slide, you can reach out to Emily. If you're in the US and you are not in one of our two counties, notice there is the ability for you to go to americassbdc.org/find-your-SBDC, and you can find the SBDC Center in your area, and they have advisors specializing in a variety of areas as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do keep connected with us. You can go out to our website, www.shastasbdc.org. You can click on the calendar and look at other webinars we have coming up in the future. Anything you'd like to wrap us up with, Lani?
Oh, no, I think I've talked enough today. So have a great day, and thank you, everybody, for everything you do.